Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 5 Tips and Tricks for Careers in Athletics. I'm your host, Dr. Maury Mosvitz, with my all-time most favorite, most wonderful host, co-host, Jen Albanese. Welcome, Jen.
Hey, Maury. How are you? Welcome to the podcast, everybody.
Doing
What's
really
going
well.
on? Yes.
Well, it's hard to say, but we're almost going on a year
This is
of recording this podcast.
crazy. Insane that we've been doing this for a year. It's been so much fun. I have loved this so much.
It's been just so great to connect with people that we've known forever or people that we've never met, and we've got a chance to learn from them and now make new friends that we didn't know we were going to make. But it's been awesome. And with that in mind, we're going to do something special for the end of the season and coming into season 2.
I know, it's crazy. I know, it's so funny. We're chatting. We were like, oh my God, we're going to start season 2. Like, wow, we're kind of big time here. We're like, hey, season 2. So I know this will be a fun little episode and a fun few coming up for this month here. So
yeah, so for the month of July, this episode will air as the first one. And then after this, we're going to do 4 of what we saw were some of like the most popular episodes, though we had a lot of great people. We kind of distilled it down to 4. So definitely check those out. There'll be re-releases every week in the month of July. So after this, but then this episode is pretty awesome because it's the 5 tips and tricks that we thought were some of the most interesting, which was very hard to do.
Oh my God, this is crazy hard. Like
it was like killer hard.
Like every single one was so good. And like every guest had their own like special twist on certain things and cool ways to explain their tips and stories that went along with their tips. And it was really, really good. So these 5 that we picked, we love you all. We're not trying to pick favorites. Like we're not picking our favorite children here. Okay. But some of these were like the funniest ones that we
it was either like really direct and something we're like, okay, this is definitely a top point, or just funny or really insightful. It was like
or the way they said it was funny or very like to the point, like you said. So
we kind of had to battle it out to figure out how we were going to fit it all in. And again, if you weren't in the list, we apologize. We could have done the top 20 tips if we wanted to or more. But we had to distill it down to 5. So coming up after this, Jen and I will be back and we'll be introducing the 5 tips and tricks, the top ones for season 1. So we'll see you after these messages.
Are you a loyal 5 Tips and Tricks podcast listener? If not, now is the time to start. Get all your info and fun content on the podcast by following us on all our social channels at @AthCareerPod. The 5 Tips and Tricks podcast is a part of Athletic Career Consulting. Make sure to reach out to us. The one-stop shop for everything is our website, www.athcareer.com. Remember, follow and like us on @AthCareerPod, rate and review us, and get all your info at www.athcareer.com.
Okay, everybody, welcome back. So we have our first tip, the one to start off with. This one comes from Debbie Williamson, who has a storied career in basketball officiating, and a lot around collegiate athletics as well. But she really sets the tone here. So Jen, what do you think about this clip?
Yeah, this one is so good. And we also had the opportunity to see Debbie over the past year in person and catch up with her. And it was so great. But this one is so, I think, like we said, super direct about how the circle in athletics is small, even though this is a huge industry. Everybody knows everybody. And the way she said it about how, they see if you're lazy, they see if you're late, they see if you're there on time or whatnot. I think it was just so direct and to the point. And I just love the way she said it. So I think that this one's a real good one.
Well, okay, everyone, here comes Debbie Williamson's tip.
And word gets out, and that'd be the last thing I would say is, and I used to say this to my students when I was teaching at NC State, is the circle is really small.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes.
It's too small.
The circle in athletics, I don't care, word gets out.
Yeah.
The good and the bad. Who's lazy, who shows up, who's late, who knocks it out of the park, you
Yeah.
don't think anybody's watching. And not only is someone watching, but someone who can impact your career.
All right, everybody, welcome back again. So now we're on to tip number 2, and this one is from Drew Robinson, who is the Chief Partnership Officer at GoRoute. And Maury and I have known Drew for a while, and
Yep.
this one is kind of funny the way he kind of phrased it.
I love
but-
it. You got to be where your butt is. You got to be where you're at. Like, don't start thinking and dreaming all over the place. Drew tells you like it is. You got to make sure you're focusing on where it is. And he puts it in the most memorable terms. So
That's the perfect way to put it, Maury. Very memorable. So be
very
where your butt
Drew.
is.
Be where your butt is. And here it is coming up. Drew Robinson.
Yeah, so this one I've edited a bit because I know this is probably a PG crowd, but it's be where your butt is, right?
Yeah.
Again, I think I've heard that through some of the other guests that you had on.
Yeah.
Too many folks in our industry or the industry we came up in are always looking for the next move, right? Or they're chasing logos, chasing money, chasing all the things that are nice. And don't get me wrong, I did that for a part of my career. But again, I don't think you can really get great at what you're doing if you're always looking for the next thing.
Right.
And again, that's something that maybe took me a little bit of time, to be very frank and honest with you, to learn that you just got to be where your butt is. That if you do a great job in whatever role you are tasked with at any point in your career, everything else with regards to kind of chasing logos, chasing money, chasing better opportunities, it's all going to take care of itself.
Right.
Because you're going to be great at what you're doing in your current role.
Okay, everyone, that was a great tip, but now we're on to tip number 3. This is Thomas Theodorakis, Theo, as many people call him, the AD at Army, the big tip.
So he talks about the 20% rule, which he learned that from Theo Epstein. Kind of funny because Thomas is a Yankees fan, and Theo Epstein, obviously, famous for being with the Red Sox, but we'll let that go. But it is a really good point of what the 20% rule is, about how you're trying to take that 20% off of your boss's, plate that they don't like to do, having you do it to kind of help grow your career, grow your trust in your boss. So it's a really
I thought
good
this was just so interesting, something that was just a really interesting way to put it. And I really internalized and thought about this. I would do it anyways many times, but more towards that whole idea of what are things that people don't want to do. So I thought it was great.
We're learning right along with all of you here and putting it into practice. But all right, without further ado, here's Thomas's tip.
Actually, a rule I got from Theo Epstein, the former GM of the Boston Red Sox. So he had what he called the 20% rule. I think for me, I see the spirit and message of this is more of what he used to call is, hey, there's 20% of your job that your boss hates doing or just doesn't like doing. Learn that 20%, because what's that going to do? Number one, it's going to make him or her feel better that, it's off their desk, but it kind of gives you opportunity to take on more work. And I think eventually leads to building trust and ultimately, gives you more opportunities to do other things. So for me, I've always kind of taken that as maybe it's not the 20%, but I think in general, what can you do to your supervisor to take stuff off their desk, right? So after you completed all the tasks you need to do or whatever projects, et cetera, but I always try to knock on the door and say, hey, what do you need from me? Is there anything that I can help with as much as possible? Almost being annoying about it, to the fact of that's helped me in my career, just take on new things. You know what? Hey, can you do this for me? Oftentimes it might be a small task, or it might seem that way, but maybe be something important or big for your supervisor, just not to worry about anymore, right? Or to take off his or her shoulders. So I've kind of always looked at that rule of how can I just make the life of my supervisor a bit easier if there's some things I can learn that they're doing or don't want to do that I can take pride in doing. And I think ultimately leads to a good place.
All right, everybody. We are on to our fourth tip, and this is from Mark Majewski, who is Director of Creative Services with the Boston Bruins, another good friend of ours that we love. And this one is...
This is just so Mark. I just have to say it. Like, that was part of it. It is creative, but it is just stereotypical Mark. It's like, okay, we're going to talk about being in the shower. And not only is he talking about being in the shower, but talking about like he takes showers specifically to be like, not because he's trying to clean himself, it's just to think. And so like no one else would you hear this tip from. It is an interesting tip. I haven't tried it yet, but I feel like it would be really a good one.
Yeah, no, this is a great one. And we just always love to laugh with Mark. And this one is nothing less than that. So
here we go. Mark Majewski in the shower.
There's a lot more into it than just putting your pen down and writing it. There's a lot of thought provocation and things of that nature in it. And when it's not there, my thing is I'll take a walk. I ride my scooter to work every day. I'll take a ride on the scooter. Yeah. Weirdly, I wouldn't say it's TMI. It's just weird. Weirdly, my best thinking comes in the shower. Like, legitimately.
Everybody says that. Oh,
a lot of people.
I don't know what it is, but like.
You're relaxed. Everybody's relaxed in the shower.
Yeah, I'm telling you, like I come out there, like if I need to like come up with an idea, like I'll legitimately jump in there, and it's really really weird. But yeah,
that's the tip. Go in the shower.
Shower often. Tip 3, shower. But like basically, it's also on the flip side of that though. When the creative juices are flowing and like you're just hit your stride, don't stop. Don't like if it's 11 o'clock and you're feeling good and you're still buzzing, keep it going. Like stop. Yeah. Like it's like you kind of catch lightning in a bottle in a sense with that type of stuff. And from a creative aspect, like I think that's I think it's a kind of an obvious tip or whatever on the creative side, but some of those might not know that. But I think it's like one that needs to be kind of like reiterated.
So jumping out of the shower and into a whole nother realm here, we have this one. Yeah. So this was the number one. We were sure of it from the time that we decided to do this, that this was going to be the final tip of the year. And this one comes from our man at Syracuse Mets, the GM, Jason Smorl, and Jen.
And
how do you say about this?
And it really just shows that any idea is a good idea if you'd want to try it. Always be willing and open to try any idea.
No such thing as a bad idea. Just Correct. That's what he teaches us.
Correct. And it's like try the stuff that's crazy and out of the box because hey, it might work and it might go viral and it might be something really cool. So any team out there, any student out there, when you're trying to come up with cool marketing ideas, Catterday might just be the win. I'm just saying.
Buckle up for Catterday.
We'll be doing essentially the same things, but somehow present them in a new way, and just keep it fresh. And sometimes we just wing it and hope it works. We're like, you know what? Let's try it. And if it doesn't work, what's the worst that's going to happen? And we're not doing brain surgery over there. It's like, oh, that was a bad idea. Currently, we just discussed it. This year, we're going to have a Catterday. So we're going to have a day where we bring cats. We've been doing dog days. I've been talking about it for years that we need a cat day. So we're going to do it. Everyone's decided it's a bad idea. We're going to try it. We're going to find out.
Jason.
That's amazing.
It's going to be on a Saturday. It's going to be called Catterday.
Do you need to have your cat on a leash?
We don't know the details yet, but someone did ask that. We're thinking
as an operations person, that was the first thing that came to my mind.
Leash or a box, and I have a guy walking around my neighborhood here with a cat and a leash. I assume he's going to be there.
Well, there you go. You got your first taker for Catterday.
Oh my God. Well, literally before you said Catterday, I was going to be like, what do you think is your best promotion? But clearly it's Catterday. Let's just say.
We'll find out.
Well, those were great. I mean,
oh, it was awesome.
It was so fun to go down memory lane and pick some of those out. And it was just great to do a little recap like that. So
Yeah,
hopefully
a great
everybody
way to
enjoys it.
end the first season. We're going to go into this next month with just some re-releases. So make sure if you didn't get them the first time, or if you want to hear them again, to hear some great tips that we didn't include in this one. There's some great people that have wonderful tips for this month. Make sure to check it out.
Yeah, and obviously catch up on any episode, obviously, while we're taking our little month break before we start season 2. And you can go back and catch up on all those episodes. But I think really from Maury and I, just like thank you to everybody, our families, to all the guests that have been a part of our first season, all the people that we've reached out to. Like, it means the world that you are a part of this for us in our first season. And we just thank you so much for making this such an awesome experience for us. So thank you.
Get prepared. The second season is coming with some awesome people. We're already gearing up so that you're going to have some of the guests from all different things that you might never have heard of before, or places that we're trying to reach out and just make it as broad as possible, get some great insight, catch up with some more old friends, and are just so excited. So make sure that you are watching us on all our channels,
Yes.
Listening to new episodes, liking, sharing old episodes, put notes in. We love those notes. Throw those notes
in
in.
the comments. Tell us what you think. Tell us other areas that you guys want to learn about or hear from different people. We want to hear all of those, and make sure you're following us on all of our socials at Ath Career Pod, because that helps us, just gain more traction in the world out there and on all those platforms. So we appreciate all the support, and we're excited for season 2.
Yeah, see you in season 2.
Yeah, see you in August. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
If you like the 5 Tips and Tricks podcast, make sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. You can rate and review us, including questions that may be answered on future episodes. The 5 Tips and Tricks podcast for careers in athletics is part of Athletic Career Consulting. Check us out at www.athcareer.com. Don't forget to follow and like us on your top social media platforms.